Seville 6.
Yeah.
Hey, Jamie Woods, we here to travel and motivate. No curry, we just trying to keep our minds in a golden state. We answer to nobody but the Lord, we control our fate. Too many things to see just to sit in a hole and bake. We growing, ayy.
Sevilla, España, okay? Seville is located in the south of Spain. It is one of the most charmed cities in Spain. Seville is the birthplace of flamenco and has some of the best architecture in all of Europe. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, Seville has to be up there in my top 5 for my favorite cities in the world. It's one of those cities you go to and you leave it and you're like, that was magical. That was special. Because it's something about it. In fact, out of the 3 cities or a couple cities that I've been to in Spain, Seville might have been the most magical one out of all of them. Barcelona was the funnest. Madrid's weird because Madrid, it's charming, it's elegant, it's sophisticated, but so is Seville. So it's kind of like I'm trying to come up with words that it's only unique to Madrid. I would say Madrid is the most livable out of the 3. I think if I were to live anywhere, Madrid would be the best one because their suburbs are really nice. So the suburbs out of the city center are pretty good because I've been out to the suburbs and they're really nice over there in Madrid. So I would say it's the most livable. It has everything. It has the nightlife just like Barcelona does. It has the elegance and sophistication that, of course, Seville, which is the city I'm talking about now, has. But it's more livable than the 3. There's more opportunities in Madrid because it is the capital. But Seville, like I said, is the most charming, the most elegant. Sometimes I felt like I went back in time because I'd be roaming through the streets. It's super safe, by the way. I'd be roaming through the streets of Seville, and I'm like, what time period am I in? Like, is this 2023? Is at the time I went in 2023? Is this 2023 or is this the 1800s? Like, because this place, or not even the 1800s, even before the 1800s, this place feels like, I don't mean to say lost in time, but more of it's kind of like it's like a time machine. You're being taken back in time almost to a time when kings and queens were big, and you see horses everywhere with carriages, and the buildings and the architecture are so different from anything I've ever seen in my life. And I've been to many cities in Europe. Paris is cool, but I didn't feel like I got transported back in time when I went to Paris. Same thing with Istanbul. However, Seville is almost like I got transported back in time. Like, what the? But here's the beauty of Seville. It has a balance, and that's what most cities in Spain have. It has a balance to where there's the old school architecture, right? So you have all the tradition, all that stuff, but also there's a lot of modern stuff out there too. So of course the Setas de Sevilla, which is new. Of course, we're gonna get to that in a little bit, but they have the Setas de Sevilla. They have a lot of cool modern stuff out there that still keeps you grounded in the time that you're in. So it feels like you're back in time, but also you're also in 2023, 2024 as well. So it's like a weird, I can't describe it. There's a charm about that city. The people are so nice. I think out of all the 3 cities we've been to, not saying that anyone was mean, but I think Seville had the nicest people, the most down-to-earth people, the most hospitable people. Like literally, as soon as you went into a business or even when we checked into the hotel, so sweet, so nice. Like they have that socialness to them down there. You know what I mean? Like, so Seville is fantastic. And on top of that, Seville had a good balance of locals. So you're amongst locals, even in the tourist spots. And on top of that, a good amount of tourists. So you got people from England. England was a big one. There's a lot of English people in Seville. A lot of English people. So if you want to feel like you're sort of in England without being in England, in terms of just people, Seville. There's a lot of English people out there. The English people love Seville, and they love Barcelona too, especially Barcelona. But English people are in Seville. All right, so just letting you know, if you hear a lot of English, it's those English people. In fact, a lot of people down in Seville know English. All right, I did meet a couple people that didn't speak English, but lucky for me, I know Spanish and I'm fluent in it, so I was good. But for those of you who are worried, oh man, what if they don't speak Spanish? They'll speak Spanish, well, they'll speak English in Seville. Okay, so Madrid, out of the 3 big cities I've been to, Madrid was the one that had the least English speaking people. And on top of that, for some odd reason, Madrid had the least amount of tourists compared to the other cities that I've been to. That's the crazy part, and it's the capital. I've talked to a lot of people in Madrid. I didn't really meet too many people that greeted us or that spoke English around us. It was mostly Spanish. Let's just go over the cons real quick. I keep stepping on my toes. But guys, I ain't gonna lie to you. Seville might have been one of the most difficult places to come up with cons. I kept thinking about it for 5-10 minutes. And I'm like, what are the cons of Seville? What are the actual cons of Seville? Is there any negatives about Seville that really bothered me when I was there? And I kept thinking about it and kept thinking about it and kept thinking about it. And I was like, I guess the heat. And the thing is, it's only super hot like that usually in the summertime. In fact, in Seville, it's so hot. Because Seville, out of all the cities I've been to in the world, I think the 2 hottest cities I've ever been to was Las Vegas, which we just talked about, and Seville. Seville was hot as fuck. Those points where I'll be walking for 5 minutes and I'm exhausted. You guys ever walked in the heat for a little bit and you just got exhausted, like the heat just took all the energy out of you? That's how it is in Seville. That's how it feels like in the summertime. But this time of the year is not too bad. Even the winters in Seville are pretty good. So the winters in Seville are like the spring for us here in America. So that's the thing is, and I think a local told me, is that the weather in Seville is never cold for the most part. The lowest that I think he told me was like in the 50s, 40s, but usually it never drops any lower than that. It's always good weather all year round. All right. But of course, in the summertime, it gets a little unbearable with the heat. But like I was telling you, it gets to the point in Seville where it's so damn hot during the day in the summertime that everyone just stays inside the house. Like when we first got to Seville, it felt like a ghost town. Honestly, guys, the only problem that I had with Spain was the heat. That's the only issue I had with Spain was the heat. Everything else I loved about Seville. Seville, to me, I would give it like a 9.5 out of 10. It's close. If it's not, maybe it's a 10, but it's a 9.5 out of 10. It's a perfect city, in my opinion. I love it. I love it there. I think I loved it more than any of the other cities. In terms of the way the city is and the way it looks and the vibe and the charm, I liked it more than the other ones. But back to siesta. That's something that I wish we would implement more here in America, that we would have. And that's the thing about Spain that's a pro when you go out to Seville, is that they care more about lifestyle than work out there. Right? So especially Seville, because Madrid and Barcelona do also have siesta, but since they're such big cities, they usually stay open for most of the day. However, in the south of Spain, I think they're more serious about Seville. So in the small villages, the small cities, places like Seville, they're more serious about siesta. So you'll see all the businesses shut down. It's not like Barcelona, Madrid, where some are open, some are closed. In Seville, most of them be closed. So don't think that the city is a ghost town, that nothing's going on. It's a very vibrant and exciting city when everything's open, of course. But during the day with the heat and siesta, everything's gonna be closed for the most part. So letting y'all know that if it's your first time going to Seville, because I was weirded out at first. I'm like, what's going on here? Beautiful city, but there's nobody here. Fuck we doing here for? Let's go back to Barcelona. What are we doing? But then once everything opened back up, I was like, okay, now I get it. And I talked to a local. He told me that everyone had been throughout the day. But once everyone came back out, exciting, great city. The city is super walkable, so you can get from point A to point B very quickly out there. Everything is within, at most, I think the most time I walked out in Seville to get from one side of the city to the other was 40 minutes, 40, 50 minutes. And the thing is, this is what people fail to realize about Europe. And that is that, one, people are used to walking out there. So 40, 50 minutes to a European is nothing. You tell a European, hey, in New York, let's just say they go out to the States. You tell them, oh, it's a 40, 50 minute walk. They're going to be like, okay, cool, that's fine. But to you as an American, you're like, no, let's drive there because we're so Americanized and we're so used to driving from point A to point B. But in Europe, they're used to walking everywhere, either taking the metro or walking. They're used to that. That's why they're so much healthier, because they walk everywhere. But 40, 50 minutes in Europe is whatever. That's normal to a European. You tell a European the walk is 40, 50 minutes, he'll be like, yo, fuck the Uber, fuck the taxi, fuck riding there. Let's walk. Because they're so used to that. But on top of that, also, not only are European city safe, Seville is a very safe city. I was out everywhere in Seville. All the major parts of Seville I was in. Not once did I ever feel like I was in danger. In fact, Spain in general, I think Barcelona might be the more dangerous out of the three because Barcelona could be a little bit sketchy, but even Barcelona is safer than most big cities in Europe and in the world. But back to Seville. The thing about Seville is a 40, 50-minute walk, you won't feel it. Because the thing is, Seville is so beautiful, so charming, so sophisticated. You want to walk. Like, you're going to be like, oh my God, oh, the ice cream shop, oh, that shop, oh my God, oh, I want to buy that, oh, I want to go there. It's like, you'll be so distracted by everything in Seville. It's similar to Paris, to where there's something nice at every corner. Every single thing you see is a work of art, to the point where if 50 minutes have gone by, an hour gone by, you won't even feel it because you've had so much fun walking through the city. And that's the biggest difference that I can say about Europe and the United States, for example, where the United States, the cities aren't walkable unless you're in New York. But for the most part, like where I'm at right now, it's not walkable. I have to get a vehicle to go to point A to point B, compared to a place like Seville, Barcelona, Madrid in Spain, for example, where they can literally walk to work every day if need be. They could take a bike. They could take the metro if they're feeling lazy that day. But it's different. European cities are made to be walkable. The way they constructed it and everything, it's so easy to get from point A to point B just walking. And in fact, people prefer to walk out there because everything is so beautiful out there. Not saying it's not like that here in New York, but for the most part, or America, but for the most part, there's a lot of like parking lots here, and everything is kind of spacious over here. Everything's spaced out more in America compared to Europe, where everything's kind of on top of each other. There's no parking lots. Everything's a work of art. It's a beautiful restaurant every corner. They specifically made everything to be that way. And I love that. I love that about Europe. That's what I love about Europe. But that's the thing about Seville. Is as hot as it was, I was like, fuck it, I'll walk. Fuck it, I'll sweat my ass off. It is what it is. But I walked everywhere in Seville. I had so much fun doing it. I saw so much hidden gems that I wouldn't really see if I took an Uber or a taxi. But Seville is stunning. It's a stunning city. It's walkable, and that's a pro, definitely. It's affordable. Honestly, Seville, out of the three cities I've been to, is the most affordable. Well, Madrid was affordable too. As crazy as that sounds. But here's one thing about that people need to understand. I'm going to say this up front right now. I've heard from many people that said that Spain is expensive. And I'm like, I agree, but I disagree with that. Because the thing is, Spain, compared to most other European countries, I'm just comparing it to Europe. All right, and then I'll probably compare it to America. But Spain is one of the most affordable big European countries that there is. It's more affordable than Italy. It's definitely more affordable than France. I heard Switzerland is the most expensive. I think it's Switzerland. Yeah, Switzerland's the most expensive European city, I believe, or it's up there. But Spain, depending where you go in Spain, it could be very affordable, especially if you're a solo traveler. Even if you're coming with someone, it's still affordable. All right, it's definitely more affordable in Spain. You can literally go out, go to a restaurant, go drinking, whatever, for a fraction of the price that you would get here in America. In America, I keep saying this, but in America, a night out is about $100 on average, and that's a okay night, $100. All right, anything below that, you're not really having much fun unless someone's paying something for you. But $100 is an okay night in America. If you want to have a good night in America, a really good night, $1,000+. In Spain, with $100 in Spain, you know what you could do? You could literally go out to a nice restaurant and then go out to the bar and have a fantastic night with $100. That's the type of that's how cheap it is to go out and do things in Spain. All right. I think when people say that Spain is expensive, they're referring to Barcelona. Now, Barcelona is, to me, the most expensive big city that there is in Spain. It can be expensive depending where you're going. That's why I'm saying I agree and I disagree. because Barcelona can be expensive, and that's where most of these people are. Most passport bros and people and travelers, the first place they think of when they think about Spain is Barcelona or Ibiza, which are expensive places. You know, Barcelona can be expensive, but Barcelona can also be affordable where you're going, depending where you're at. It can be affordable or it can be expensive, right? But it's definitely more affordable than going out here in New York City or any of these places here in America. It's definitely way more affordable than that, and it's the most expensive place in Spain. So Spain, you could do a lot with $100. You can have a great night. You can go out to a nice restaurant with $100 in Spain. So we went out to eat to nice places from time to time. You know, the food is phenomenal, which is another pro. Is the food might have been some of the best in all of Spain that we've been to. The food, the paella, I heard the paellas are the best in Spain and in Valencia. Those are the two places where the paella is the best in. I believe, was it Valencia that the paella originated from? Or maybe there's a specific type of paella. So for those of you who don't know what paella is a big dish. It has rice, seafood, sausages sometimes. It's just mixed up, right? It's like a big rice platter with seafood or meats or whatever you want to put in it. And it's really good. And I think one of them originated from Valencia, which is why I'm thinking paella originated from Valencia, but it just might be one type of paella that was specifically made there. But Valencia, from what I heard, Valencia and Seville have the best food, the best paellas. All right. So that's another thing about Seville is the food in Seville is great. In fact, the best churros, which Madrid is known for. Madrid is where, you know, they have the chocolateria de Sanguinis, I think it's called, which is a famous chocolateria, a chocolate place, I guess you call it, a churro spot in Spain by Plaza Mayor, where basically they have world famous churros there. But in my opinion, I think the best churros that I tried out in all of Spain was in Seville. So Seville, I think in terms of food, Seville is the best spot. The best spot. Not only is it charming, it's sophisticated, it's great, it's affordable, but it also has great food. So guys, listen, the Raw Alcazar, I went in for free, and that's because if you guys are going in the summertime, the biggest piece of advice I can give you guys if you're going in the summertime to Spain, to Seville particularly, specifically, is go to the websites of these places. So go to the website of the Royal Alcazar. The reason why I'm telling y'all this is because they have a special in the summertime on Mondays that you can go into these places for free. And I went into the Royal Alcazar for free. And by the end of it, it was almost like I wanted to pay them. That's how good of an experience it was. I felt guilty being there for free because it was that good of an experience. I wanted to pay them. I'm like, yo, guys, here, take $40. That's how good of an experience it was. But I went there for free. Usually it is worth about $40, especially if you're going with two people. So it's about 10 or 20, depending if you get a tour guide or not, or the tour book or whatever, 10 or 20 per person. And we went there for free. So basically you just drop down a couple bucks, like €2 or €3 for a reservation, and it's free. So check that out. So go onto the website for these spots that you want to go to in Spain. Specifically, check the Mondays, because Mondays is when they have Mondays or Sundays is when they have free entry. So if you see free entry for the day that you want to go on a Monday or a Sunday, click on that day, drop just basically pay the reservation fee, which is only €2 or €3. Some places don't even have that. And then from there, you have your online tickets, you present it in person, you don't got to pay a dime. You go on for free. So that's a big piece of advice about Spain. And that's something that I love about Spain is you get to go to these museums, not even just these attraction sites like the Royal Alcazar, but some of these museums and good museums too. You get to go in for free depending on the day that you pick. All right. So make sure you do your research, and it's only online. So it's not like you can go in person on a Monday and go in for free. It has to be done online. So reserve your spots online. Okay. So that's a big piece of advice about Spain.